Hey, welcome back to the channel. This is your grandpa. Today I want to talk to you about new TSA and FAA rules that just went into effect that could make your day or break your day in this mess. You know what I'm talking about. You're going through airport security and suddenly they're telling you this and they're telling you that. Well, there are 10 new rules that just went into effect that could make or break you. So if you're a globetrotter planning a trip and the last thing you want to do is get caught in that mess. So I'm going to go through 10 things and 10 rules that you need to know before you take your next flight, especially now with the government shutdown and limited resources at the airports. That could make or break you getting on a flight. Let's get started right now. Whether you know it or not, there have been many problems with lithium batteries and certain butane items being brought on the aircraft and causing a fire. Like this one here. You can see right here that all of a sudden a fire broke out in one of the cabins from a butane hair curler. Imagine that, a butane hair curler that started a fire. Also, they're highly regulating now lithium batteries, what size batteries you can bring on, what kind of, penny packs or things like that. Let's get into it. I'm going to show you 10 products that'll make your day and help you avoid this possible disaster. So let's talk about butane powered steam irons, hair curling irons, things like that have been around for a long time, but they have caused fires on aircraft. And because they are now banned starting September 1st. And because of that, now you're going to have, and because certain items are battery powered, you're going to have to be observant of whether or not they're TSA compliant, such as, and if you want to get a travel iron, make sure that it's travel ready. In other words, you can use 110 and 220 if you're traveling overseas. It comes with multiple plugs. If you're using a rechargeable unit, check the maximum wattage. There is a set limit of how many watts these devices can be. And if they exceed that one, they will be confiscated at the airport. Your toiletries, there is a 3.4 ounce limit, except in the case of medication. And because a lot of people, the label comes off for their reused bottles, it can be a major problem at airports because they're looking for drugs and they're looking for other things. You want to get a TSA recommended carry case with TSA Silicone sealable non-leak devices. You want to have ones for your medication. You want to have ones for your makeup. You want to have ones for your various shampoos. And it's a good idea to put a permanent marker on them or use a piece of tape and write on it so you know what it is, because when they're examining it, you don't want to go in through that problem of being delayed because they're going to test it and they're going to look at it. Every minute you're trying to go through security is a minute that you could lose your flight, especially if you're late. So again, use only TSA approved products. Remember, you have a 3.4 ounce limit. Anything over that, they will confiscate. I recently was flying over to Alaska, and when I was on the trip, there was a woman in there. She had a bottle of shampoo, and it was a little bit larger. I think 4.2 ounce. I think I heard her say, and they said you can't bring it on the flight, and she went ballistic on them. And she threw something at one of the TSA agents, and now they were taken away, and she lost her flight over a simple couple of ounces. Don't get caught with this situation. Again, I'm going to leave you the links to some of these products where you get on the Amazon page where you can find them and get started preparing for your flight. The airline is cracking down on two things. One is power banks, and two is built-in power banks in luggage. And you may have been hearing this. Your luggage must have a removable ion battery. If that battery is built in and you can't get it out in 10 seconds, guess what? It's staying behind. All right? Just the new rules and laws, okay? The other thing, power banks can have a maximum size. You have to check, whether it's 1,000 milliamps, 2,000 milliamps, a maximum, I think it's 3,000.4 milliamps. Okay, I happen to be showing one here that displays its wattage and its milliamps, and it also is TSA compliant. And here's a picture of a luggage that caught on fire. You don't want to have this situation where you're carrying on a power bank and they're looking at it and they can't figure out what the wattage is on it. And if that happens, that they're not going to allow it on the flight. Sorry. You want to make sure that, number one, the milliwatt is listed. If it is TSA listed, you want to have that label there. In fact, sometimes I tell people, bring the directions that came with the power bank, right? At the same time, you have to make sure that your luggage is TSA compliant. It meets a certain size, and not only that, but that if it has a battery for recharging, that it is ability to remove it. One of the new TSA rules is that a lot of batteries that are lithium-ion now must be removed from your camera bag and placed into a fire pouch. That's right, a fire pouch. These ones are fireproof, they are heat resistant, and can handle a fire from those batteries up to 3,000 degrees. So if you're a person like myself who carries a lot of batteries when I'm traveling for my Canon cameras and my video cameras, you want to be able to get on the flight without having an issue. So you may want to pick up, if you have quite a few batteries, a battery pack holder. These are fireproof. One's happened to be by Lipguard. I'm not recommending any particular battery, but it's TSA approved up to 3,000 degrees. You can put all your Canon batteries or whatever batteries you're carrying that are lithium ion, and then you will have no issues getting on the flight because they know that they're protected from an incident. Hey, do you remember back many years where they said that now multi-tools were no longer allowed on the flight? And you couldn't bring this, and you couldn't bring that, and you couldn't bring that. Well, they've loosened the rules a little bit. And so if you want to bring a multi-tool, because I bring a multi-tool because I have cameras and I have tripods and I have all kinds of things with me. I personally had to pick up a multi-tool that was TSA approved. You know, if it has a knife in it, it can't be longer than a certain distance. If it has scissors, it can't be sharper than this. You following what I'm saying? Basically, they're allowed on the flight as long as they're TSA approved. The other thing is, if your luggage doesn't have TSA approved locks, you may want to buy a couple of TSA approved locks. What the TSA approved lock means is they can put their key into it and unlock it and open your luggage without having to ask you to do it, such as if it's been checked or such like this. These make life a lot easier. There's nothing worse than having your luggage torn open because the scanner saw something and they wanted to examine it, and you had a lock that wasn't TSA approved. Now, the last thing I want to go over is luggage, okay, and IDs. Now, airport security, of course, you've had to have a true ID. And now they're verifying very, very intensely about IDs because they found a lot of false IDs, so that, you got to make sure that you have your ID ready and easy for them to scan it. Very important. So what I recommend is an RFID ID bag. They're not too large. They can go over your shoulder and be over here under your chest. They can be secured under your jacket. So when you get to that security desk and they ask you for your boarding pass and all of that information, you could have it right at hand. You can put your passport, your credit cards, your driver's license, and whatever ID that you need there with you, and it's right available. And you're not holding up the line, because nothing makes a TSA agent extremely angry is when you're fumbling looking for your driver's license. You should have had it ready. And that could cause you to be pulled on the side, and had a full search done. You don't want to irritate these people, especially right now with the shutdown. You don't want to irritate them at all. The other thing is carry-on luggage size is extremely set now. They used to let you get away with, it's supposed to be this size and you were half an inch wider, they didn't bother you. Now, because overhead luggage space is extremely limited, and because a lot of people fly and try to get around the rules, now they're saying this is the size you have to have. So when you're looking for some luggage, carry-on luggage or regular luggage, look for luggage that's, number one, TSA compliant. Number two, that it has TSA locks on it. And number 3, that it has a good rating. You know what I'm talking about, right? So those are the things you need to be looking for. Anyway, I hope this information has been helpful for you. I know I travel all the time myself. I don't want to see you have an issue. If you have any questions about this, put it in the comments. If you've experienced some of the problems, put it in the comments. And if you didn't know about some of the things here and it was helpful for you, put it in the comments. Now, we have Amazon affiliate links that are there. I will put a link for all of these products so you can easily find them. Please use the Amazon links. That's how I get points with Amazon, and that's how this channel gets paid. I don't get any money directly from you looking at it, but it does help our logistics. And anyway, Grandpa loves you. Check out all my other videos, and tell me where you're going. If you're traveling, I just came personally back from Alaska. Where are you going? Grandpa wants to hear. Have a great day. We'll talk to you on the flip-flop.